Hello and welcome. You're tuned into Ask Profit on NDTV Profit. I'm Smriti Chaudhary and with me is Alex Matthew. And this show is all about your stock-related queries. So write to us on any of our social media channels or on the WhatsApp number that will be on your screen. You can also write to us on the YouTube live chat and we'll take your questions from there. It may be a short-term query or a long-term investment strategy. Do write to us your queries. But before we do that, let's take a quick check of the markets. You have the benchmark not doing too badly considering the macros and considering the geopolitical tensions around. It's down only 0.4%. Then if you look at some of the sectors, the key sectors that are moving, Nifty has, it's down about 0.9% right now, almost 1%. All the sectors in red, not even one in green. You have PSU Bank down, Realty down, Media down. However, PSU Bank doing worse than others. But a lot of weakness based on the global cues that we're getting. Crude is up. You have geopolitical tensions brewing in Iran and Israel. That's impacting the markets as well. On the benchmark, on the broader end of the spectrum, you have the Nifty mid cap down over 1% and the Nifty small cap down about 0.7%. So a bit of a weakness there as well. Let's also pull up the breadth of the market. Obviously in the favor of declines today, but just to see, yeah, so it's about 1:5. That's the ratio that we're currently playing at in terms of breadth of the market. However, the focus for today, Alex, remains Infosys, right? We saw results. We've already seen results of TCS and seems to be on a similar trend there.
Yeah, absolutely. In fact, if anything, the deal wins being strong is something that is common. However, the ability to convert those deals into revenue seems to be a bit of a challenge for Infosys, and that is reflected in the stock price right now. Let's talk about the key takeaways, though, and Richa is joining in to tell you just that. Richa, what can you tell us?
Yes, hi Alex. So as rightly mentioned, there are three key takeaways from the results yesterday. Infosys gave a muted guidance. However, the management also mentioned that the first half will be strong on the back of ramp up of deals in the BFSI sector. This means that the second half of the year will likely be muted. Number two, Infosys has given the highest ever deal wins, but again, does that really matter? Because this was the case with TCS as well, and these deal wins are not getting converted into the top line. Clients are also opting for more of cost optimization deals. Now, these kind of deals come with tighter margins and tighter budgets. Therefore, the margins of IT companies will likely go down because they will have to cut down costs internally to serve those clients. And this implies that the pressure on discretionary spends still remains in the sector, and this was also again mentioned by the TCS management last Friday.
Thanks so much, Richa, for breaking that down. In fact, let's get our experts on. We've got Sunny Agarwal, who's head of fundamental equity research at SBI Cap, and we've got also Vaishali Parekh, who is a technical specialist, joining in right now. Thank you so much to the both of you for joining in. Let's start with a fundamental check on Infosys. Sunny, what do you make of the results? One, and in the context of the wider IT space, would you say that Infosys can be picked up right now based on the kind of performance, or would you say that based on the underperformance, if you can call it that, it should be avoided?
Good morning, Alex, and thanks for having me on the show. I think after looking at Infosys and TCS number, one thing is pretty sure that the demand environment, at least in a short term, when I say short term, quarter or two is not very healthy or maybe kind of uncertain. That is what I can read from the commentary of TCS and Infosys management. Having said that, medium to long term outlook continue to remain robust, looking at a healthy deal wins. However, the way Infosys has cut the growth guidance for FY25, it seems that it will be clearly a relatively underperforming stock if I take next quarter or two from a quarter or two perspective. So if somebody want to invest in IT sector, I think first of all, the right place will be in a mid-sized IT companies which are likely to post relatively better number as compared to tier 1 company. But if still if somebody want to patiently want to invest through SIP route, maybe I would like to wait for numbers of HCL Tech, where I find relatively the company is likely to outperform in terms of growth. out of TCS and Infosys, definitely I would like to, at a current juncture, I would like to pick TCS among the Infosys and TCS.
Okay, that's a fair point. Very quickly, Vaishali, do you want to weigh in on Infi and the wider pack? And I completely take the point that Sunny is making in the mid-cap IT company. So are you seeing any opportunities there?
Very good morning. Actually, yes, I've been observing the IT sector on the whole since quite some time. But today we saw it has broken, but I would say a stock per se. Infosys really has really corrected, and I think it's quite a fair value according to the technical parameters. So we were looking even before the results. 1400 levels was acting as a crucial support and a make or break. And if that was broken, we were looking at 1380, 1360. So we pretty much did 1380, I think, in the opening. And I would say for a long-term perspective, one should start accumulating Infosys from here on.
All right. Good morning, Vaishali and Sunny. Let's start off with the questions now. The first one is from Samir on India Bulls Real Estate. Now, they say they bought the shares at 134 level. It's currently trading below that price. Vaishali, we've seen a good run in the stock in the last 1 year. However, some weakness in the last month or so. What would you suggest to somebody who's bought into the stock at a slightly higher price than what it's currently trading at? Should you continue holding on to it?
I would say so. Actually, there's nothing wrong with the trend. Keep 120 as the support level. If 120 levels break, then it calls for a negative move. But till then, I would say just hold on, wait for it to bounce back.
Okay, let's pull up Zomato. And in fact, quite a lot has been said about this, and I'm quite interested to find out what the earnings picture is going to be for this particular company. It's up about 0.5%, trading at 185, and we've got Mathan, who has bought at levels of 180. He's tuning in from Chennai. Sunny, on the fundamentals, would you say that it should be held, and this is a company that is operating in a space that understandably a lot of people are attributing a lot of potential to, but when do you think it's going to translate into the bottom line?
Yeah, I think the way Zomato has performed over the period of last 3 to 4 quarters, I think the company is on track to report healthy profitability, especially 1 year down the line. So both the food delivery business as well as the grocery delivery business, which is a Blinkit, the synergies we are clearly visible, and I think both the businesses are growing at a rapid clip. I think one should remain invested, and I feel the fair value of the business at the current juncture is close to 220, 230 rupees if somebody has got an horizon of 6 to 12 months.
All right. Next question we have on the counter Vari Renewable Technologies, and this is from Abhishek. And Vaishali, Abhishek asking about the 2-month target on this particular counter.
The BSE stock, right?
Yes.
The one which is 2200, that's the one?
Yes.
Okay, so I think the stock is already surged pretty high. I won't have any view for now. Continue holding because there is no sign of exhaustion still if I'm looking at the larger term time frame. But keep a trailing stop loss and continue holding because this can go towards 3,000.
Okay, fair point. That's a view on Vari. Coming back to you, Vaishali, on this next one, not a specific stock, but Geeta is wondering whether you can suggest 2 stocks that you can buy today. And she's not really provided a time frame, but I'm assuming that she has a relatively shorter term time frame.
Shorter term. So I would say, well, HDFC Bank to start with, because that is what is supporting Bank Nifty today. So with a stop loss of today's low 1480, I would say buy the stock. It can go towards 1530, 1540 in a day or two. And the other one to my liking, well, is I would go for ITC. ITC is a safe bet at these levels, 423, 424, stop loss of 415 and target of 440.
All right. The next question is from Jaya Krishnan from Korikor, and so they've given a couple of counters here, and they want to pick 2 out of them. Sunny, tell us which one would you suggest from a medium-term horizon and a good stock to enter right now? So ABB, Bajaj Auto, Godrej, and Dixon.
Yeah, so I think I would like to go ahead with the Bajaj Auto, especially when the numbers are already out and we know the company has reported a decent set of numbers. And the outlook also continue to remain robust both on two-wheeler, three-wheeler as well as electric vehicle space. And our fair value of the company is close to 10,200 rupees. So I think Bajaj Auto is the one stock which I would like to bet my money on. And sorry if you can repeat all the remaining three names.
There's Dixon, ABB, and there was one more. Can we pull up the question? Yeah,
Godrej
ABB,
Properties.
but yeah, Godrej Properties.
Yeah, so among the remaining one, then I would like to go ahead with an. I mean, it's slightly difficult to catch because again, all the remaining three stocks are trading at a relatively expensive valuation. But I would like to go ahead with Godrej Properties, looking at a very robust provisional number the company has reported for the quarter four. And but again, I would recommend a buy on dip strategy. We have already seen a huge run up in all the real estate stocks. So buy on dip will be the right strategy if somebody want to enter into Godrej Properties from a medium to long term perspective.
I'm sure everyone will appreciate, and I certainly do, that you are saying Kozhikode much better than you did.
Well, I'm a fast learner.
All right, let's talk about the next question. It's coming from Swaminathan from New Delhi, and he's asking about Amara Raja, which he bought at levels of 744, and he's been holding since 2022. And he's wondering whether it can reclaim all-time highs. And this is given the potential in the space, and he's pointing out the transition from ICE, which is internal combustion, to EVs, and also the battery storage space. Sunny, so therefore it's a question based on the fundamentals. What do you say that it's a stock that you should hold on to, and what are the prospects for Amara Raja?
Yeah, again, looking at the way recently we have seen the deal which has been stuck between Exide and Hyundai and Kia. There's an expectation that one of the large OEM again may try to enter into agreement with Amara Raja for exploration of lithium-ion battery for especially for electric vehicle. And I think after a long time, both these stocks are coming off after a long period of consolidation, even in terms of the stock price as well as in terms of the earning growth potential. So I think one can continue to hold Amara Raja in a long-term portfolio with an expected upside of 15 to 20% over the period of next 12 to 18 months.
Right. The next counter we're talking about is Axis Bank. This one's from Chandra from Bangalore. They've bought shares at 996 with a time horizon of 1 month. Vaishali, now the stock seems to be in a bit of a downturn in the last 1 month. But from here on, do you see it touching a target? I think they're going for a target of 1100. Do you see that happening in the next 1 month?
Well, actually, I still see, further downslide cannot be ruled out because the projected downslide comes to around 950. So hence, I would ask to accumulate because we are pretty much close to the support levels. And yes, if we see a good bounce market taking a U-turn from here on, why not? This can retest again 1100.
Okay. Let's take the next one, and it's from Jyoti, and he's asking about Deepak Fertilizers and another stock, JM Financial, which he's bought at 640 as well as 106 rupees respectively. He's looking at the next 4 to 5 years, so it's a long-term time frame. Sunny, what do you make of this?
Yeah, so for Deepak Fertilizer, I would recommend to hold on to the stock, although we have seen that entire agrochemical space has been under trouble since last 6 to 8 quarters. And I think with the recent commissioning of the backward integration for the ammonia plant, I think the company is well placed to deliver a healthy growth, especially in the backdrop of healthy expectation of normal monsoon, which will commence from the June. So I think risk reward is favorable at a current juncture. Nothing much to do as far as Deepak Fertilizer is concerned. Moving on to JM Financial. Again, JM Financial, we have seen some regulatory action against the company pertaining to the IPO funding and so on and so forth. But what I feel again here, all the negative is in the price. Maybe next 3 to 6 months is a time where a stock may doesn't move much. But if you look at a pedigree and the kind of business which the company has built, I think, and the way capital market is flourishing in India, I think long-term growth prospects continue to remain healthy. But till the time this regulatory action is behind us, maybe in the next 3 to 6 months, the stock may continue to hover in a certain range.
All right, fair point. Next question is from Satya, and Vaishali, this one's for you. However, the time frame is 1 to 2 years, but they've given a couple of names, and they want to pick some of them as essentially, is it the right time to enter into any of these stocks? They are PNB Housing, Gland Pharma, and Man Infra.
Let's just have a look.
Sure.
So PNB Housing, the one which is 749?
Yes, that's right.
Yes.
I think technically it is very well placed. It's getting into a momentum. I mean, there is a trend formation. So as long as 720 levels are held on as prominent support, and once this stock moves above 780, because right now it's going through a consolidation. So keeping this level in mind, above 780, it holds and confirms a further strength. So I would say this one can go for a buy at these levels.
And
the other one you
Gland Pharma.
Gland, right?
Yeah.
Yes, so Gland, in fact, it is looking quite positive because we've seen a good consolidation. I mean, right after making a high of 2200 to currently at 1700 odd levels, I think this is ready for a takeoff. This level looks attractive because it's also close to the 200-day moving average support. So one can buy at these levels and look for a target of 2000 and higher.
All right. We have to slip into a very quick break. We've got an interesting question that will come up on the other side. And in fact, if you've got questions, keep them ready. We'll be back before you know it. Welcome back. You're watching Ask Profit, and I promised it was an interesting question. This is from Sagar, and the question is for you, Sunny. He's asking about Voltamp transformers as well as transformers and rectifiers India. He's holding on to both. He's got a nice chunk of Voltamp from levels of 1002, and the stock is currently trading at 10,000 plus levels. And he's also got TRIL, which is transformers and rectifiers, from levels of 63. And the stock is currently at 655. So he's seeing a 10x jump in his holding. What is the short to medium term outlook on the sector as well as the companies? Any expectations on the results side if you have coverage? And also, do you like any other stocks in the power ancillary space, not the traditional power companies like NTPC and Adani Power, because he already holds them?
Yeah, so first of all, congratulations for bagging a 10 bagger in both Trill as well as Voltamp. And again, the entire transformer as an industry continue to look very bullish. The reason being that the way capacity has been expanded both on thermal as well as renewable energy side, it is expected that the demand for transformer will continue to remain healthy. as we go from close to 250 gigawatt of capacity to 400 gigawatt by 2030, the transformer and rectifier as an industry, will continue to do well. And I would recommend to continue to hold on to both these stocks with an investment horizon of at least 3 to 5 years. So even at 10,000 rupees, Volta market cap is close to 10,000 crore only. So equity base is very small. And Trill, which is a transformer and rectifier India, we have seen a very good turnaround in the business. And at the same time, the order book is very robust, and I would recommend to continue to hold on to Trill also. And in terms of other recommendation in the power ancillary, I think cable is one of the space which will be one of the beneficiary of the expansion of the power network. So companies like Polycab and RR Cable, these are the two names which comes to mind if somebody want to invest in the power ancillary space from medium to long term.
Right. The next question is on Vedanta. Now, this one's from Ramakrishna from Vijayawada, and they bought the shares at 233. It's currently trading at around 388 rupees. From a shorter term perspective, Vaishali, the question here is, should you book some profits? Should you keep holding on to it? Now, it has been doing quite well in the last couple of months. That pace has kind of picked up in the stock now. Would you suggest taking some profits off the table, or would you suggest holding on to it?
So, of course, if it's for a trading perspective, I would say keep a stop loss of 370. But if it's for longer term and doesn't mind the whipsaws, then I think continue holding for a target of 450, 480 from.
Okay. Cupid is the next stock, and we've got a question from Gurjot. He's writing in from Chandigarh, and he's got a view of the next 4 to 5 years. I'm not very certain as to whether he's bought or not, Sunny, but do you have coverage, and would you suggest holding on or buying fresh at these levels for the next 4 to 5 years?
Sorry, Alex, I missed the name of the company.
We're talking about Cupid Limited.
Cupid. So Cupid again not seen much in detail, but what I would suggest is that there are many other better consumer plays which are available in the market. A case in point, companies like Vector Food or Senco Gold. So any company from the discretionary consumption side can be on radar. Sorry, I can't. I'm unable to give my view on Cupid.
That's understandable.
All right. The next counter we're talking about is Angel One. This one's from Pratik, and they're writing in from Greece. They bought the stock at 3,200, slightly elevated levels. Sunny, we saw the Q4 results, pretty good Q4 results. Brokerages continue to remain positive on this counter. From a longer term perspective, they're clearly sitting on some amount of loss here. But from a longer term perspective, what are your expectations from a stock like Angel One?
Angel One, very robust set of number for March quarter, and what I feel is that as we were discussing for one of our earlier question also, that capital market as a theme is looking very good. The kind of demat account addition which we are seeing to the ecosystem is likely to give a lot of business, especially on equity cash as well as F&O side, and a lot of ancillary business which Angel One is building around that ecosystem. So Angel One is migrating from a pure broking play company to the super app company, wherein it will be distributing a mutual fund, insurance product. At the same time, they have themselves established one asset management company. They are going to distribute loans also. At the same time, they are themselves venturing into the NBFC business. So I think long-term outlook continue to remain robust in Angel One. And it's a clear story of migration from a pure play broking company to the financial conglomerate having a presence across multiple products. So I would recommend to remain invested in the company from a medium term.
All right. Hold is the view on Angel One. The company posted results not too long back. Let's talk about Abhinandan Prasad's question, and he's asking about a stock that has run up quite significantly over the last 12 months or so. And I'm talking about Suzlon. He's asking though why it is so reactive when it comes to news. Well, understandably, it has been volatile in the recent past. He's bought at levels of 36, 37, and he's holding on at these levels, which is very close to 40. Vaishali, the question is, should he hold with the expectation of upside, or should he move to something else at this point?
I think right now it's looking quite positive. It's quite promising that we can see 46, 47. But I think keep a stop loss of a buying price 37 because that happens to be the crucial support also. And I guess the results are also around the corner. So once we see the result and we see how the movement takes place, technically it's quite well placed. 37 should act as a stop loss.
All right. Thank you so much, Sunny and Vaishali, for joining us today. Unfortunately, we're completely out of time on this edition of Ask Profit. And viewers, thanks for tuning in today. We'll try and take more questions. If we were not able to take your questions today, we'll take them on Monday. So do tune in and keep writing to us. And don't go anywhere. We have lots more lined up on NDTV Profit.
If we want that those who are running our governments, who make our lives different, they must consider us as relevant, and we become relevant if we cast our votes. I have always been voting, and I have actually quite looked forward to the task of voting, and I certainly plan to vote as long as I'm able to vote in every election in the future, including the current one.
Benchmarks trade lower amid weak global cues. Sensex above 72,300, while the Nifty trades around 21,900. IT major Infosys falls as much as 2% after reporting subdued revenue guidance for FY25. Company's 2024 headcount declines by over 25,000. And voting for the first phase of Lok Sabha elections begins as many as 102 parliamentary constituencies are polling today. The counting of votes will be on June 4th. In tit-for-tat exchanges continue between Iran and Israel. Reports suggest Israel launched a strike on Iranian soil today morning, raising fears of a widening conflict across Middle East Meanwhile, Iranian official denies the report of missile attack, calls it a false alarm. Hello and welcome. This is Hot Money. I'm Agam Vakil, and in this show we take you through all the stocks which have been the flavor of the season and also the day. But before we take a look at all those stocks, a quick look at the markets which are currently, well, consolidating. At least that's how it's been over the past, well, half an hour to 45 minutes. And there's been a gradual up move as far as markets are concerned after a very, very weak start to the day. And at the moment, we are looking at the Nifty down by just as much as 0.3%. Remember, at one point in time, it was down well over 200 points. And at the moment, it is shedding just about 70 odd points. So there has been a gradual recovery. The question really is that where can we expect a little bit more strength to come in? Are markets looking to shrug off all that is happening in West Asia? Or can we expect more weakness to come through? Of course, at the moment, a lot of factors have changed. And, the advance decline ratio as well, which was, incredibly, wide between advances and declines, has possibly narrowed down, as you can see on your screen there. We still have more declines as compared to advances, but that gulf is not as wide as what it was earlier on in the morning. And even in terms of the Nifty, it made an intraday low of well below the mark of 21,800. In fact, 21,777 to be precise. It is now well over 21,900 at the moment as we speak. So there is a recovery of sorts underway at the moment.